will learn the estimation of serum bilirubin. In case of jaundice diagnosis, serum bilirubin estimation is needed very much. This is the general structure of bilirubin, having tetrapyrrole ring, because bilirubin is coming from heme group, and you know heme group have porphyrin ring containing tetrapyrrole ring. Bilirubin is the waste product coming from heme metabolism. It may be total, that is conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin together, separately conjugated and unconjugated. Conjugated bilirubin is water-soluble bilirubin. They are not diffusible. Usually they are not found in feces or urine as excretory product, but in case of bilirubinuria disease, we can find the presence of some conjugated bilirubin. This conjugated bilirubin is produced by liver as di or monoglucouronide. The unconjugated bilirubin is protein bound or albumin bound bilirubin, that is water insoluble but alcohol soluble. They can be absorbed by the gut, they can diffuse, and they actually are not found in bile or in urine. And these two conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin together makes total bilirubin. The RBC, the erythrocyte, has a particular lifetime, that is 120 days. After 120 days, the RBC is broken down by reticuloendothelial cells of spleen, bone marrow, etc. So, the macrophages will phagocytose such senescent RBC and they will produce heme as well as porphyrin, and these heme along with carbon monoxide and iron will be metabolized. Heme oxygenase will produce bilivardin. Now this bilivardin with the help of bilivardin reductase will produce bilirubin. One molecule of bilirubin will be attached to two molecules of serum albumin and they will be transported towards the liver. This albumin bound bilirubin is the unconjugated or indirect bilirubin. At the sinusoidal surface of the liver, by carrier active process they will be taken inside the liver cell, and by UDP glucouronil transferase they will be converted to mono and diglucouronide with the help of glucouronic acid. That is the conjugated or soluble version of bilirubin, and ultimately they will be sent towards the gallbladder by bile duct. Jaundice is the manifestation of higher serum bilirubin content. In the sclera, mucous membrane, skin, the yellowish pigment of the bilirubin is getting precipitated, by which the jaundice condition can be observed. When we are talking about the heme catabolism, you can observe that the unconjugated bilirubin is getting produced when the bilivardin is reduced to bilirubin. If any problem occurs there in case of hemolytic anemia or rapid hemolysis in case of neonates, then higher amount of unconjugated bilirubin will be produced, which cannot be conjugated rapidly by the liver. That is pre-hepatic jaundice, because before the hepatic or liver level it is actually happen. If conjugation is not happening by any sort of toxicity like cirrhosis of liver or by viral toxicity, in case of hepatitis B. So the function of liver is getting impaired. The enzymatic action may be impaired, as we can find in case of Gilbert syndrome as well. So proper conjugation cannot be happen. So that is actually the toxic hepatitis, viral hepatitis or hepatic jaundice. If properly through the bile duct, the conjugated version of bilirubin is not sent towards the small intestine by the obstruction of the bile duct, again it can elevate the conjugated serum bilirubin. This is post-hepatic or obstructive jaundice. The estimation can be done by colorimetric analysis as well as photometric analyzer. Colorimetric analysis. So colorimetric analysis means the measurement of the color. Usually serum bilirubin can be converted to azobilirubin and then can be measured. From biliverdin the bilirubin was produced. So at earlier period the amount of biliverdin was measured. Then the icteric index was measured. What is icteric index? The extent of the pigmentation in the jaundice patient with respect to the normal one. Then in 1918 by Vandenberg and Muller, they have proposed the method which is actually done by modification of Jendrassik and Grof. By the application of diazotized sulfanilic acid, the serum bilirubin can be converted to azobilirubin. In the acidic medium, they have made the red color product, which can be estimated at 540 nanometer. But they needed 30 minutes for incubation and they have stopped the reaction with the ascorbic acid, and the conjugated bilirubin only responded to the reaction. When they put alcohol, then only the indirect or unconjugated bilirubin was dissolved and responded the same reaction. So by Jendrassik and Grof, the biochemical method is modified. They have included the reagent that is named as caffeine benzoate acetate, which is acting as accelerating agent. It can reduce time from 30 minutes to 10 minutes, but also it helps to solubilize the unconjugated indirect bilirubin to the soluble version. So it will help to measure not only direct bilirubin but also total bilirubin together. Another improvement was also included because they have turned the azobilirubin in the alkaline medium, where it has absorption at 600 nanometer, which can eliminate the possibilities of interference of hemoglobin as well as carotene, because they have absorption at 540 nanometer. Nowadays, some companies have proposed the diazyme method by vanillate oxidation, where from bilirubin, biliverdin is getting produced. Bilirubin has absorption at 454 nanometer. The extent of reduction of bilirubin towards biliverdin is actually giving you the idea about the amount of bilirubin present. Now, based upon the colorimetric method, photometric analyzer was devised, where the azobilirubin color can be BR2 model. Within the cuvette, the sample is taken where the direct bilirubin along with oxyhemoglobin and azobilirubin is present. Light is passed through the solution, monochromatic light, by beam splitter. It is splitted in 454 nanometer and 540 nanometer. At the acidic pH, only azobilirubin will have the absorption. Like all other clinical biochemical procedure, you need apparatus, reagents as well as serum samples. As apparatus, we need the incubator, centrifuge machine, colorimeter. So this is colorimeter where you can measure the amount of azobilirubin present in the 600 to 607 nanometer wavelength range. That is visible. Apart from these, you need test tube rack, test tubes, micropipette for addition. I will show you how to add the components. This is the bilirubin estimation kit which will be used as the reagents. It includes caffeine reagent. Caffeine reagent means it has caffeine, sodium benzoate as well as sodium acetate. Alkaline tartarate, sodium potassium tartarate which makes the alkaline medium. 0.05 normal HCl. Actually the alkaline tartarate and HCl is not given by the kit, that actually will be made by the laboratory itself. Diazo reagent where we can find the presence of diazotized sulfanilic acid. It will be mixed with the HCl. Cysteine reagent and standard bilirubin. So reagent 1 is diazo reagent. Reagent 2 is your caffeine reagent. Reagent 3 is cysteine reagent. Apart from these, alkaline tartarate and HCl will be made by the laboratory, and reagent 4 and 5 are the standard bilirubin. According to our purpose, our need, we will make the standard bilirubin.
Ma'am, how are these reagents and standards prepared?
Let me tell you the processes. 13 mg of sulfanilate and 0.457 mg of sodium nitrite will be dissolved in 6 ml of 0.05 normal hydrochloric acid. That will be made separately in 200 ml volume. 25 gram per liter of caffeine and 38 gram per liter of sodium benzoate will be prepared in sodium acetate solution. Cysteine reagent is actually given in the dry form, lyophilized form, that will be dissolved in 10.5 ml of water. It will be made 350 gram per liter in concentration in 2.5 normal sodium hydroxide. Now, these standard bilirubin first, the lyophilized standards will be dissolved in dimethyl sulfoxide and sodium hydroxide to produce the master stock, that is 20 mg per deciliter. You can only take this 20 mg per deciliter either, or you can prepare the series of standard by diluting following this particular table. So by addition of different amount of water, you can prepare 0.1 mg per deciliter, 0.2 mg per deciliter, 0.5 mg per deciliter, as well as in the higher range 1, 5, 10, itself 20 mg per deciliter can be taken. The serum 1.5 ml will be collected usually from the fasting patient, and the patient must be non-lipemic and non-hemolytic, and it must be kept at dark at 2 to 6 degrees centigrade, otherwise bilirubin can be oxidized. Then centrifuge will be done at 10,000 rpm for 10 minutes, and avoiding the buffy coat, only the supernatant will be taken. First, the test tubes will be marked properly whether it is standard, test or blank. You will take 1 ml of water to make auto zero in the colorimeter, and you will take 1 ml of serum sample. In case of standard, you will take 1 ml of standard solution each. Then what will you add? According to the working table, the caffeine reagent will be taken 1 ml. So which one is the caffeine reagent? The reagent number 2. So reagent number 2 will be taken 1 ml. Diazo reagent, that is solubilized within hydrochloric acid, that is reagent 1. Reagent 1 will also be taken 1 ml. Then you will mix together. You will stop the reaction by giving cysteine reagent, that is reagent 3 in 0.1 ml. You can observe how I am changing the micropipette. This is for 1 ml and this is for 0.1 ml, that is 100 microliter. Then after mixing everything, you will be shaking it well and they will be kept for 37 degrees centigrade incubation for 10 minutes, right? So you have to mix them well. Then after the development of the color in case of serum test as well as in standard, you can put it for the measurement by taking it in cuvette. So Auto Zero is done with respect to water blank and you are measuring at 600 or 607 nanometer wavelength. So from here you can record the result of the test one or you can take the solution of the standard as well, from where you will get the OD value or absorbance value. So by having the OD result, we will have the calibration curve from where you will know total as well as direct bilirubin. By subtracting the direct bilirubin from the total bilirubin, you will have the result for indirect bilirubin and you have to tabulate all the data together. Now, if you want to know the milligram of total bilirubin present per deciliter of sample, you have to divide the absorbance of standard from absorbance of sample and multiply with the concentration of standard. In each case of absorbance, you are eliminating the blank which is made Auto Zero here.
Ma'am, can you please explain it with an example?
Of course, if the absorbance of unknown is 0.052, that is OD, if the OD or absorbance of the calibrator or standard is 0.180 and if the concentration of the calibrator or standard is 5.2 milligram per deciliter, so applying the formula, you will have the concentration 1.5 milligram per deciliter. Apart from this, you can make a standard calibration curve, OD 607 nanometer versus the series of standard taken. From the calibration curve, by putting OD of unknown serum, you can have the concentration of serum bilirubin concentration. It includes the precision as well as accuracy. Precision includes the quality control with respect to commercially available bilirubin that is marketed. We have to calibrate the machine. It can be available in Boehringer, Mannheim and in different companies. And the accuracy must be taken with respect to linear regression analysis. The straight line, the linearity must be maintained up to 20 milligram per deciliter. As you are using the blood, so it must be taken aseptically, no spillage from the cuvette or needle, as you are using the hazardous chemical like hydrochloric acid, sulfanylate, and the alkaline tartarate is so much corrosive base. So you must take care of your skin, your clothes, eyes, etc. After getting the result, you have to compare it with respect to the standard reference range. Then you have to go for the doctor for proper clinical interpretation. In case of adult, if we get the total bilirubin value from 0.3 to 1.3 milligram per deciliter, that is actually the normal one. The direct bilirubin concentration will be, in case of adult, from 0.1 to 0.4 milligram per deciliter. In case of indirect bilirubin, for adults will be 0.2 to 0.9 milligram per deciliter. In case of infants, the total bilirubin ranges in between 1 to 12 milligram per deciliter. Now, plasma bilirubin, if exceeds from 1 milligram per deciliter, is called as hyperbilirubinemia. If it in between 1 to 2 milligram per deciliter, that is called latent jaundice. But if exceeds from that of 2 milligram per deciliter, that can be manifested as yellowish pigmentation in skin, mucous membrane, sclera, eyes, etc. case of neonates, you can observe such neonatal jaundice by the elevation of unconjugated bilirubin, because by rapid hemolysis of the hemoglobin according to external environment, you can get elevated unconjugated bilirubin. That must be needed proper diagnosis. Let me tell you the diagnosis in case of infants. The phototherapy is done. What is phototherapy? In case of infants, the indirect bilirubin is getting increased. By giving them the normal visible light therapy, indirect bilirubin can be converted to lumirubin by photooxidation and stereochemical isomerization, which can also be excreted very easily by the urine. In case of adult, the diagnosis or therapy includes the nutrition therapy. That is, you should avoid the fatty foods when the serum bilirubin is getting increased, because there is the dysfunctioning of liver as well as bile production. So fatty food cannot be digested very easily. You must have higher amount of water intake or fruit juices that will help to the urine passage. That means the extra amount of conjugated bilirubin can be excreted very easily. So students, I have discussed the method of serum bilirubin estimation, from where you can have the idea about the normal level of serum bilirubin, how it can be estimated, diagnosed, as well as can be clinically interpreted. So I have shown you 1.5 milligram per deciliter concentration is getting produced from that of standard formula calculation, which is actually the elevated serum level, and that needs proper clinical guidance.